Secrets and Vows. Season 1, Episode 3, Whispers in the Shadow. London had developed a new appetite. It no longer craved elegance or romance, it craved exposure. By the third week of the season, marriages were no longer sacred contracts, but fragile performances. Vows were recited in public and abandoned in private. Every drawing room hummed with suspicion. Every smile sharpened by the question no one dared to ask aloud. Who is lying to me? Lady Eliza Ardenwood felt the shift immediately. It followed her through corridors, lingered at her shoulder during conversations, curled into the silences left behind when she entered a room. Eyes watched her now, not with curiosity, but calculation. She had become interesting. That morning, the velvet quill arrived earlier than usual. Eliza broke the seal with practiced calm. Desire thrives in darkness. Lovers speak truth only when they believe no one is listening. The letter detailed a secret arrangement between a titled wife and a man not her husband. Meetings conducted in carriages, vows forgotten between silk curtains, and whispered promises. The names were coded, but unmistakable. One belonged to a woman Eliza had dined with just 2 nights before. Eliza folded the letter slowly. She wondered how many women smiled at breakfast, knowing they had betrayed someone before dawn. Across the city, Julian Hawthorne stood in a mirrored room, fastening his gloves, listening as a former lover begged him to intervene. "You promised discretion," the woman whispered, her wedding ring glinting as she clutched his sleeve. "I promise silence," Julian replied, "not protection. You will ruin me. You ruined yourself the moment you wanted more than secrecy." She left in tears. Julian felt nothing until Eliza crossed his thoughts. That unsettled him. The evening's gathering was intimate by design. Only the most powerful families were invited, the kind whose secrets required wealth to bury. Candlelight cast soft shadows along the walls, disguising intention and temptation alike. Eliza arrived alone. She felt the absence immediately. Julian was already there. Their eyes met across the room, a silent acknowledgement of everything unsaid. He moved toward her, slow and deliberate, aware of how closely they were watched. "You should not be near me," he murmured. "You should not look at me like that," she replied. "And yet," he said, "here we are." A married lord lingered nearby, his hand resting too familiarly at Eliza's back. Julian noticed. His jaw tightened. "So quickly?" Julian asked quietly. Eliza turned, surprised. "You assume much. I recognize temptation. And do you recognize jealousy?" He smiled, but it did not reach his eyes. Later, as music swelled and wine loosened tongues, the velvet quill's work became visible. Conversations broke apart mid-sentence. Couples separated. A woman excused herself in tears. A man drank too quickly. Lady Margaret Vale moved through the chaos like a conductor. She leaned toward Eliza, her voice velvet soft. "Do you know what I've learned?" Eliza met her gaze. "That humiliation breeds clarity. That marriage is simply a performance." Margaret replied, "The true drama happens backstage." Julian appeared beside them, uninvited. "Careful," he said. "Some performances end badly. Only for those who lie." Margaret replied sweetly. The tension snapped when a letter was read aloud. Accidentally, of course, a wife's infidelity exposed. A lover named, a promise broken. Gasps filled the room. The accused woman fled. Her husband remained behind. Furious and humiliated, Eliza felt sick. Julian caught her arm. "Come with me." They slipped into a shadowed corridor, the noise fading behind them. "You cannot save everyone," he said. "I know, but you seem determined to destroy them." He stepped closer. "I am honest about what I am." "And what is that?" "A man who refuses to pretend loyalty where none exists." "Then why pretend restraint with me?" she asked. He faltered. That silence was louder than any confession. They stood too close. His hand hovered near her waist again, never touching, always threatening. The restraint was unbearable. "If I cross this line," he said, "you will not be able to return. Neither will you." They separated abruptly as footsteps approached. The following morning, London woke to devastation. 3 marriages strained, 2 engagements broken. One wife disappeared entirely, and the velvet quill wrote, "Love does not destroy." Eliza read the line twice. Julian read it once and smiled grimly. Lady Margaret Vale sealed her own letter that evening. Her smile reflected endlessly in candlelit glass. The season was no longer unraveling. It was combusting. Review in next episode. Whispers in the Shadow turns tension into open warfare. Marriages fracture, jealousy ignites, and desire becomes impossible to hide. Eliza and Julian edge closer to a point of no return as secrets spill into the light. Next episode, Veils of Deception. Private affairs become public weapons. Loyalty collapses, and love demands a price neither is prepared.